would you say is the inspiration to you? What would you say is your summary of success in life?
Yo,
Coming
guys,
up on the
welcome
podcast.
to Ring Talk.
Ring Talk, his latest podcast.
Based in Leicester, we're showing people what Leicester has. Our businesses in Leicester that's grown massively.
This is LMA Academy in the heart of Leicester in the Speen Hills area.
By Yags. LMA does literally everything. Boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, BJJ, basically all martial arts. We also do youth club on Fridays. So it's a community gym where we do free classes as well. It's actually like allowed us and let us borrow the the gym for recording the studio. So thank you for him.
Yeah.
And also LMA.
Ring Talk just happened. So me and Amr sat down one day. We're like, you know what? We always talk a lot. We always talk about what Leicester has.
A lot of people that know us, they say we should start a podcast. So we thought, let's start it. Yo guys, welcome to Ring Talk.
I'm sorry, but that was funny. That's funny. That's funny. No, you're keeping this in the original. I actually like this. Wait, what he was meant to say is, hello guys, it's Abdullah here, and this is Ring Talk, Leicester's latest podcast. That's something fresh in the scene.
And this is your boy Amr from Ring Talk.
Yeah, and that's it. That's our introduction, which we flopped, by the way. Shout out to Amr for flopping it. We'll keep it going. We'll keep it going.
That's us Ring Talk for you.
But just a bit of a background.
Yeah.
Amr, do you know elaborate on what Ring Talk is or what we're hoping to
Ring
do?
Talk is so obviously we're based in Leicester. We're showing people what Leicester has. So there's a lot of businesses in Leicester that's grown massively. For example, Jawala, Chocoberry, Fat Buns, for example, as well. So loads, and also we got Super Saf. When there's 2 million subscribers on YouTube, and not many people know that he's from Leicester. So this part is about basically show people what is Leicester about.
Yeah, definitely. I think for those of you who don't know Leicester, you should know Leicester because the main thing we're known for is winning the Premier League in
2014.
Sorry,
2014.
Wait, listen. Okay, Naeem, in the background, yeah? This guy is a hardcore Leicester fan. Anyone who's a Leicester fan would know
Also,
Naeem,
our producer.
Which year was it?
Okay, so I was close. That's 2014, but 2015, 2016. So if you don't know, Aki Naeem is our producer / editor / behind the scenes of everything.
He does a mix of everything. You know, he's a man of many talents.
But unfortunately, he can't do everything right. That's why we're here to help him out a bit. Yeah. But anyway,
I promise he's going to cancel this podcast, right? He's just going to stop recording. He's about to throw a scissor at us right now from behind the camera.
Yeah. So, this is the first start of a good podcast, isn't it? Just someone trying to, murder us.
Yeah. But anyways, back to the point. As Amr was saying, I think Leicester is such a home ground for people to grow and develop, whether it's businesses, whether it's people, whether it's influence, whatever it is. Like Leicester seems to be a place where something's in the water.
But now Leicester is promoted now to the Premier League. That's one good thing about Leicester as well.
Yeah. Leicester has many sides to it, definitely. So basically, you're wondering why we cut off there, right? And someone just knocked on the gym door at the randomest time right now because it is a random time.
It is. What time is it now? It's about almost 10:30.
Also, if you're wondering why he said knocked on the gym door, what's the gym got to do with us? We're actually in a gym right now if you're not seeing us right now.
Yeah.
And this is LMA Academy in the heart of Leicester in the Speen Hills area. And Amr, I'll hand it over to you. What is LMA Academy?
What is LMA? LMA does literally everything. So LMA is... so firstly, LMA is founded by Yags.
Sheikh Yags.
Sorry. He's actually like allowed us and let us borrow the gym for recording the studio. So thank you for him.
Yeah.
And also LMA. So LMA, we do many things. So we do boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, BJJ, basically all martial arts. We also do youth club on Fridays. So it's a community gym where we do free classes as well for all the youngsters. And that helps with knife crime. So basically we're here preventing knife crime, drugs, alcohol. Any youngsters, as you know, in Leicester and many around the UK, is a lot of people is about young people that are involved with knife crime into drugs. So that's what LMA is for. It's just to prevent young kids, young people getting involved with knife crime.
Amazing. I feel like it's quite restrictive when you call it just a martial arts gym. I think it's much more. It's like a hub in Leicester where people feel safe.
I think like a community center.
Almost a community center in the way where even sometimes we'll have things going on that are non-martial arts related, like completely. Like we've had also GCSE booster sessions.
Yeah.
I think we even had something to do with sewing machines.
We've got women's sewing machines that
literally
on a Monday morning or something like that.
But the thing is, the point is, it's so varied that I can't even keep up to date with what's going on here. And the plans are big. It's just growing bigger. alhamdulillah, it's doing well, and it's only heading in an upward
It's got
direction.
branches everywhere. So you got LMA Academy, you got LMA Riders, you got LMA Grappling, LMA Hiking. So it's branches out quite a few things, which is I think I like as
I
well.
was just telling Amr before this, I was like, it's almost getting out of hand and chaotic with
It
how
is.
much branches are coming out of LMA now.
It
Because
is.
before it was just, okay, it's a community gym, we have our classes, let's run it. Now it's like, okay, we got this
Literally
coming, we got that
everything and
coming,
everything.
we got this coming. Ring talk just happened. So me and Amr sat down one day, we're like, you know what, we always talk a lot, and we always talk about what Leicester has, and oh, this guy's doing this, and oh, wow, it's amazing.
And plus,
This kid started in Leicester.
we got a good relationship, and we just talk a lot. And a lot of people that know us, they say we should start a podcast. So we thought, let's start it.
I mean, most people tell me to shut up because I'm always talking. That's
Very,
one thing.
Very.
But yeah, anyways, we've got a few topics to talk about today, and I don't want to mention the topics, but we'll start with our first one. Yeah. Our first topic is success.
Yes.
Okay. Because not only do we want this podcast to succeed, but I'm sure we have aspirations in life.
That is true.
What would you say, Amr, if I was to put it very plainly, what would you say is your summary of success in life?
Success in life. Well, there's so many different like what success is, even to other people. So my success is spiritually successful, and also obviously worldly being successful, making money. Being successful in life. Having money where you got enough to just have a nice life with your family, not to worry about money, and helping other people as well. That's my success.
Definitely,
But as you know, I'm involved with a lot of charity work, a lot of community work. So that's the one thing, and I want myself to be successful in it and grow bigger, especially in LMA, in the charity that I work with as well.
I think Amr, mashallah, is being very humble here. One thing about Amr is he's also part of One Nation, which is an amazing organization that delivers humanitarian aid.
Over 40 different
in over 40 different countries, and Amr is one of the main guys there. And even though he likes to stay humble and low key,
I'm not the main guy.
He's one of the main guys. Yeah,
I'm just on the side. I'm only there this weekend, but yeah, alhamdulillah.
So but I think one thing that's amazing is definitely giving back, because one thing I realized growing up is you're always in a position to give back, and if not with money, then just time that you have, whether it's whatever organization it is. Like there's so many in Leicester, there's so many in UK that are doing such great work and deserve credit. So it's great to be a part of that, especially with LMA, One Nation. Amr's putting a lot of graft here. And inshallah, onwards and upwards, like I said before.
We both, listen, we're both there. Don't just say me.
Yeah.
We both grafted for LMA and, for other stuff as well. So,
Fun fact, we've actually been on a few deployments together. I know it's drifting a bit away from the topic of success, which we'll come back onto.
Which is very similar to success, because when I first started doing charity work, was taking my own deployment, which is youth deployment, which is a success for me.
Interesting.
I'm very successful for you as well for going on a traveling for charity work, not just to have fun and chill. It's a bit more charity work as well. I don't know, up to you. What do you think?
I think one thing amazing, because we're on the topic of success, like when we went to Zambia and Malawi, I also realized that people's level of success are according to the environment. And what I mean by that is because we're in third world countries, and success for a lot of people in these countries were literally to have food, have some kind of income, have some kind of life and a family, and that was it. As long as you've done that, it's like you're sitting on a gold mine. If you have a family, you have a job, and which is what we have every day. And
you got a roof on top of our head.
Exactly. But I think with our environment here, especially in a country like UK, where we have so much opportunity, I think
100%.
the threshold for success is much higher. There's so much more we can do, at least try to do, especially with the resources we have in this country, which brings us on to success. So if you were to ask me the same question about definition of success for me, I think personally, success is almost like a feeling or a state of mind. And I wouldn't say it's all achieved, but it's something you're always chasing. I think success mainly is, number one, it's like having that contentment, because where there's materialistic things you're looking for, which can give you contentment, because it can, and I'm a believer of that. Not that just money gives you contentment, but I'm a believer that money can be one source of happiness. So I think the main thing is contentment for yourself, but then also providing for your family, community as well. I think those are the two main factors for me, I'd say, successful, because one thing is bringing yourself up and making yourself successful, but then just staying up there and keeping yourself there. And then the second thing, which is bringing up the community, bringing up your own family, bringing up your own peers together, whether it's in business or careers or whatever it is. And that's one thing I think me and Amir, and I think the whole LMA team, to be honest, we all try to do. It's like we really want to invest, even to the youngsters here in LMA, we really want them to go out and achieve things. Even if one of the youngsters in LMA would start their own podcast, honestly, I'd be so happy.
We'll be there
to see
straight away.
Not just happy, I'd be so happy to know that we've inspired some people to do this as a team here in LMA. But yeah, success is a very interesting.
Like, don't worry,
topic.
the person that actually inspired us to do this podcast is Yasin. So the head of the gym. He's actually also known as Jags. He actually inspired us to this podcast.
Yeah.
He said, "You got confidence, do it."
So definitely.
So Abdullah, here's a question for you. Yeah. So in success, how would you know you're successful? What is your so? When would you say you're successful?
That's actually a really good question because I've been hanging around with some people lately, and generally people who've achieved things, you can tell it's like they're always in this race and they never stop running. Meaning that like they still, even though someone might look at them and be like, okay, this guy has, I don't know, a Ferrari and okay, he has a big house and that.
Yeah.
For most people, that'll be like, okay, he's achieved success and he's done. But when I meet people like this, it's the craziest thing. It's like they're on to the next thing and then the next thing and the next thing. It's like, it doesn't stop there for them. And a lot of the time, especially with some people I've met, it's like, it's not even materialistic gain. It's just about accomplishing more and more.
Yeah.
And testing, I'd say like testing your limits. So I think success generally, I don't think it can ever be achieved. Like, I don't think, personally, I wouldn't want to be in a place in life where I sit down and say, okay, I'm successful and I chill, unless I'm an old man. But even then, I want to say active, you know what I mean? Even then, I want to say active doing something. So I wouldn't say I know when I'm successful in that way, but then I would say there's some criteria for which like you can realize progress. The same way like you monitor the progress of like a football player with how many goals you scored per season and how with age, you know, the statistics are showing.
By this age, you want to have this much money, or you want to score this many goals, for example, as a footballer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as rigid as people make up because I don't believe the path in life is linear. I don't think that like, okay, if you don't have this time, you're a failure or that's it. Like, I believe life sometimes is up and down and it's like spaghetti, you know, sometimes you're going in circles, sometimes you take a U-turn. So I wouldn't say that I'd hold on to the metrics that hard, but at the same time, I'd also want to feel like, okay, by this age, I should at least be the main ones, of course, the basic ones are like providing for yourself, your family, taking care of them, growing your family, making sure your family are taken care of, things like that. And then, of course, after that, the community, like I'd want to see, I was just telling Amr this other day, like with LMA, there's a lot that I want to see change in a good way.
Yeah.
And like by this time, we should be doing this and this. And we always
Don't
talk
worry,
about
there's
it.
always we've already started to see a difference. Like even when LMA started, we've already seen a difference of how the young people are. Like when we first started our youth club, we had younger people that's around 15, 16. Now they're around about 18, 19. Yeah, and now we've seen a massive improvement where I'm actually seeing them on the street and they're saying, oh, thank you for that, you've done this, you've done that. And they've become to a proper, as a young, mature young man, which is, we've seen there's a big difference. And they're saying it's because of LMA. LMA changed their life.
Yeah, definitely. I think martial arts as a whole as well, like there's so many youngsters we met here. Man, I could start saying so many names, but like, especially sometimes like, the craziest one is like when I think of someone, I'm like, oh, I remember the first time we walked into this gym and they were so quiet, they're antisocial, they were a bit awkward. And you could tell they felt slightly out of place. Whereas now it's like they're running the gym. Like come in here and they, I know you've got some ideas and of people.
You got a few names.
You got a few names.
Yeah.
And they come in and it's like they're talking and they're spotting this guy and they're like, yo, what's up? And what's going on? Oh, this guy fights like this. And, you know, they start giving the whole discussions about fighters, whatever it is. And honestly, man, it makes me so happy to see it. I love the
And the thing is, why we're talking about success is, I think that's one of LMA's success is actually seeing the difference in the young people's mind.
Yeah.
And this seeing the difference of what they've achieved as well.
Yeah.
Where another example is we got a young person, he's 23, 24. He's autistic. Yeah. But from where he started, from where he is now, where I've seen him now, from when he came to the thing and now where he is now, he's talking a lot, he's making friends, he's gaining that confidence of actually getting involved, talking to people. Where he started before, he wasn't much involved with making friends. He's just like doing his own thing.
I think he feels, I know who you're on about, and he feels very at home here. As soon as any of us walk in, he'll come up and he'll be like, Abdullah, how are you, bro? You all right? And then
He's like,
Amir, how you doing,
I'll pay for you.
He's like, I'm always making dua for you, bro. And LMA guys, I know he is, and shout out to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a big vibe of the gym, key element here.
Yeah.
But back on the topic of success, because I feel like we keep going onto LMA.
We keep going.
You know why? I think it's because me and Amir are so tied to the gym and its success that it's part of our own success. So we always relay back onto it. But I think success in general, I think for everyone it's different. Like I don't believe because I think some people have the criteria that in life you're either successful if you have money, if you don't.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting one.
Don't worry about when as a kid, success for you as a kid was you make loads of money, you have Bugatti, you have a mansion, you have this, you have that. But now once you grow older, you become more mature, you're thinking that success isn't all about money.
You know, I agree with you, but I also feel like with a lot, it's not just kids. It's also like even there's grown men out there who still have the idea of, okay, yeah, I'm not successful unless I have money, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I think, no hate on investment bankers here, but if you've heard about the schedules that investment bankers have, they literally work the whole day, more or less. Like, I've even heard from people that have worked in banks that investment bankers sometimes don't even have time to brush their teeth. Like, they're that busy with work. Like, it's a very tough job, but you get paid stupid money. I'm talking a boatload of money, easily, just stupid money. Point is, like, with them, their success, I think for some of them, it's probably just, I need to earn a lot of money, and that's it. Like, that's my version of success.
Yeah.
I don't believe, personally, I think one thing we also need to take away, because we're talking about versions of success here. So we mentioned that with money, it's not the main goal, but it is a goal you should have.
Yeah.
And I think one thing to mention is that I don't think it's bad to have the mindset of, I want to grow up and I want to make money and I want to become successful.
No, 100%. It's not.
You know?
It's not a very bad. Like, everyone wants money. Everyone wants more. Everyone wants money where they are comfortable in life. So in life they can be comfortable with their family. They don't have to worry about money. They can just be more relaxed a bit.
Yeah.
But I still think is that obviously, to get that money, there is a success. Even if you got a business, okay, for your business to be successful, or when you think your business is successful, is you want it to be worth, for example, £2 million. When your business is worth £2 million, you know that your business is successful. You reached that goal.
Definitely. That's a really interesting topic there. But I think the main thing is also because I think some people kind of limit themselves and say, okay, look, sometimes I think because you grow up sometimes you'll always hear that, oh, money is the root of all evil and things like this and quotes like this. And I'm not saying it's wrong. Like, I believe money is a double-edged sword, but I feel like everyone or most people should have an ambition to make a lot of money in their life. Like, I think it's a good ambition to have, but you should have an ambition to make a lot of money for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You know, because you'll see a lot in generally the Western world where a lot of people want to make money literally for the wrong reasons, either to be glamorous, to gloat to everyone, or to put it bluntly, to just have drugs. You'll be surprised, a lot of celebrities and stuff who just they want to be rich, they want to have drugs. Even not celebrities, just normal people, like either to have drugs or just live that kind of playboy lifestyle. You know, playboy lifestyle is the way I like to put it. And I think the main thing you should think of yourself, like, you should wake up every day thinking, I want to earn a lot of money, I want to become successful, I want to kill it, I want to be on success. And it's good to say that out loud. Like, I think personally people should walk around and say, I want to open a business and smash it. Like, there shouldn't be a shame in that. But there should also be that balance of, like, okay, maybe not in a cocky way you say it, of course with humility, but at the same time that balance of, okay, why am I getting rich? What are the main reasons? Like, to provide to my family. Like, my mom has worked so hard for me. You know, I want her to have something that I've never had. Or one day, I don't know, I want to make her life so much easier. Things like that. Like, I want to retire my mom. You know, like, ambitions like this, I feel like are more fulfilling, because we're talking about success here. And like I said before, I think success is a state of mind where you're content. Yeah. Because contentment is what you're chasing. And I think with things like this, the contentment is achieved compared to a glamorous playboy lifestyle. Yeah. I think it's a big point, especially nowadays with like social media and stuff. It is a bit of like inflated. I don't know what to call it. Like, you know, the funniest one is, you know, on Instagram, you know, you see like, sometimes people will post stuff like, or they'll post pictures of like wads of cash and be like, that's gold, and this and that, and like
living the life and this,
like, oh, bling, and then 4 rollies on the hand and this and that. Like that, I personally, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of that.
I'm not, I say I'm against, well, kind of against it.
I'm against that aesthetic of like walking around and be like, I have money, you know, and
like it's kind of man. I hate it.
Yo, make sure you bleep that out. Yeah.
The thing is that people that are showing money, they're showing off. I hate it.
Yeah.
I just hate it. I just don't like it.
Because personally, I've always looked up to guys who've brought the community up with them. Like Muhammad Ali, the boxer, is a great example. Yeah. Like, not only did he smash it in earning money, I'm sure he earned a lot of money and whatever, but he also held down his values and also brought his community up. Like, how many boxers he inspired? He inspired Mike Tyson. Like, when you think of it like that, it's crazy. But then you've also got the other side of the spectrum where you got someone like Mayweather, who his whole persona is around walking around saying, I'm Money Mayweather. You know, I make the money. You know what I mean? I'm doing this fight because I'm after the money. Like, he's I don't want to name shame too much because I don't think he deserves the fame, even though he has already. But even like lately, I remember seeing something about him opening up a vape shop, selling vapes. I don't know if you heard about this.
No.
Mayweather started selling vapes.
Really?
I'm being serious. He
I didn't know anything about
a vape company. And I was like, bro, like okay, look, I might not like you in your personal lifestyle.
You've got an amazing life.
Yeah, but you've got a great legacy. Like, in boxing, you've built a legacy. I won't deny that. Like, how you as a person, fair enough, okay, whatever, cool. But from a boxing perspective, you've done really well. You've got a legacy, and like now you're just going around selling vapes. Like,
Yeah.
It just felt like a weird contrast to see.
For example, as well, I'll give another example is KSI. Everyone knows who KSI is in YouTube world, in the boxing world, in music world. You know, everyone knows who KSI is. And he smashed it to bit in everything he's in. But when he brings it in, he brings all his friends closely and he builds them up with him as well. So he's not just shut up and left all his mates alone.
Yeah, that's a really good example. I'm not sure which one of the sidemen mentioned it, but I'm sure one of them said like, oh, even in the past, like we should sit together, and he always used to say, let's make more videos together, let's build content together.
Yeah.
I think another guy's also good is Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast does very well at bringing up his own pace.
I don't even know people. I think even his viewers, his fans, is really random people. The community, I say that community he has, he's always building up. He's always helping everyone out.
Yeah,
which I respect a lot from Mr. Beast.
I think there's a really interesting topic of success. Like, there's so much I want to talk about right now.
Success is a massive thing.
Oh, man.
There's so much to talk about.
I think the main thing is realizing that there's no set definition of success for everyone. Like, one person's could be money or fame, but then there's also, let's talk about the other side of the spectrum. Like, I know I did mention before that I feel people should have ambition and walk around and say, yeah, I want to become successful, like with money and financially. But then I also feel like there's the other side which people need to talk about, which is that some people are content with less. Like, if someone's working a 9 to 5 and they're happy and they're feeding their family and they honestly believe that they have got the best balance of life ever, and they've got achieved, like I said before, they've achieved that state of mind of contentment. I think that's also something to point out. Like, we shouldn't shame these people. Like,
no, 100%. If you're happy with what you have and what you're getting, having a 9 to 5 job, nothing against it. That's good.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously there are people that do want more, and they're not just like they just want something different. They want extra more, basically. They're not greedy. They just want more in their life.
Yeah, I think that there's one culture I don't like, which is where I feel like some people go around and put down anyone for working in a 9 to 5. I feel like growing up for some reason, there's kind of stigma where some, especially younger generations, will walk around and be like, oh, I'd never want to work for anybody. Or and I'm not saying it's a bad mindset to have. Some people might want to start their own company instead and just find it hard to work somewhere. But I think you can't really go around saying, oh yeah, why don't you just be self-employed? Why do you make money for yourself? Why are you making money for someone else? Like,
I've seen so many ads on YouTube or on like Insta or whatever of people saying, you're working a 9 to 5 job, why work to 9 to 5 where you can do this and that? But some people actually are happy we're working with a 9 to 5, and there are people that are kind of taking the piss to work a 9 to 5, or like kind of putting them down, like you said.
Yeah.
And people is happy with a 9 to 5.
Yeah, I think, in some ways, like if you think of it this way, look how many people who have become successful in business as well have had a 9 to 5 before. Like Colonel Saunders started KFC. Yeah, I'm sure he founded KFC really late. Ray Kroc founded
I think he founded it
late, like 16, something like that. But the point is, like, even the founder of, is it Alibaba, Jack Ma? Is Alibaba, right? It's another company. I don't know. I need to have a laptop here. Yeah. But anyways, I'm sure Jack Ma, which I've heard of, I'm sure he's a founder of a huge company. I'm sure he's worked jobs before. My point is that I don't think you can ever go around and say, okay, you should never work a 9 to 5. Like, I feel like the option is there to build some discipline and some experience.
I think that's something, as you know, any successful business, they all started with just working a 9 to 5. No one just comes from college or uni and just straight become successful in the business.
I disagree with you there in one way. I feel like everyone's different, where there are some people who literally, some people, like, you'd be surprised, have literally not even hardly even studied at school or college and have gone on far. But my point is mainly it's different avenues, and that as long as you do what avenue is suited to you as a person, because not everyone is built for each avenue as well. And I think you should know who you are and where your strengths are when you're choosing your avenue. Because a lot of people I've also met, which is kind of funny, where they'll be like, I'll never work for someone else and this and that, and 9 to 5 and this and that, and you'll hear the whole kerfuffle about it. But then when it comes down to it, they do end up getting a job, and they do end up having to use that avenue. And there's so many examples of that. So I think that's something definitely to point out.
I personally, so obviously in my life, I don't want to do it. I don't want to work for 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. Nothing against working 9 to 5. It's just something that I don't want to do. And I think you're the same as well when we spoke about it. And nothing against it, but I'm happy working 9 to 5 at the moment at my age. I'm 21. I'm working a 9 to 5 job, and I'm happy because I'm learning new skills. I'm getting experience of, I'm not in a management, I'm not in a high role in my job. I'm a dispenser in a pharmacy, but I'm learning from my manager, my supervisor, of how to become a manager, how to lead things.
Yeah, I think 9 to 5 is a really interesting topic. But I think the main criteria is, like I was saying before, just I think everyone has a different walk in life. I don't believe life is linear. Like linking to success at 9 to 5, like I honestly believe that I've seen so many people going 9 to 5 and smash it. Like I think something people don't talk about often with this culture of anti 9 to 5, I'd call it, is there's so many people have gone to 9 to 5 and started up tech companies, and then have gone into tech. Like I'm in a tech company right now. That's the only reason why I know about this. But there's so many that have now left after 9 to 5s and are now smashing it, starting their own company. Do you think they could have done that if they didn't have the 9 to 5? So my point is that there's a lot of avenues, and I think people, especially growing up, like the youngsters in the gym, I know we're always bringing it back to LMA, but the youngsters in the gym, like there's something I try to tell them, like, yeah, bro, do what's good for you, man. Yeah. I truly believe you're smart enough to know which path is best for you. Just be well informed and do it. But yeah, it's an interesting topic.
Abdul, I got a question for you. What's one advice that's always stick with you? Always stick with you. That you've given, it could be from your parent, friend, it could be someone that you've still watched, or it could be, anyone that you've seen on the streets. I know you got a lot of context.
I've got, I think one advice that really stuck with me. And I remember this is when I had a lot of I was juggling too much going on in my life, and I wasn't living up to any of the stuff going on in my life. Like I wasn't giving enough attention to each. And someone said this to me, one of my scholars. He said that you can have everything in life, but not all at once. And that really put it in perspective, because I think nowadays, especially social media, there's kind of like rush, where like, oh, you need to be earning $1 million by tomorrow, and you need to be driving a Lambo by tomorrow. Yeah. Whereas he was saying, look, you can have everything in life, the money, whatever it is, a family, a car, whatever it is, a stable job if you want a good job, or I don't know, amazing grades. You can have all of it. Yeah. You could learn another language. You could, I don't know, become a martial arts champion. But the point is, you can't have it all at once. He said that you can't try 50 things at once and expect them to all be great. You need to water each of them individually and put enough attention into each of them. Yeah. And I think that advice really stuck to me. That's one. But another one I'd give, only because I think it popped in my head when he first asked me this, because it's related to success. Buddha has a quote. I don't know anything about Buddha. I don't really care. I just had this. But anyways, Buddha had a quote where he said, your purpose in life is to find your purpose. And that stuck with me so much.
I like that. Yeah.
It's a really cool one, because it's literally what I've been saying the whole time, but in one sentence. Like, your purpose is to go out every day finding out what your purpose is. Like, no one knows what their purpose is. Yeah. Until your last breath, you don't know what your purpose is. Yeah. Like, imagine, like, what they, I know it sounds a bit funny, but like, people pass away and they do, like, they look at their life as a whole. Like, for example, Muhammad Ali, the boxer, passed away. I remember when this happened. My teachers in school were like, oh, look at his life as a whole. He refused to go to the Vietnam War. Oh, he won this boxing championship. And then people realized that was his purpose. Like, until his last breath, they never knew that for sure. Yeah. What his purpose was in life. He could have changed his purpose last minute. But only when he passed away, then it was okay, this is what his whole life was wrapped as. Yeah. And I kind of feel like the same for everyone else. Like, no one knows what their life fully is for until the last breath. And you look at their life and say, yeah, look, they accomplished this, they did this, and they did that. So I think that's two pieces of advice, actually. Twice as nice. I gave you two. But yeah, that's two pieces of advice I give you. Same question to you, Amber, yeah?
You have to do three now. Three advices now.
Three advices, yeah.
No, so there's two advices. So one is always leave a legacy behind wherever you're doing. Amazing. So my legacy is, well, what I want is when I do pass away, or when I'm retired, or whatever it is, I want people to think that I'm a hardworking person. I did this for people. I did this for the community. Is this, is that. Second one is, don't take advice from so many people. About 4 or 5 people and take that advice on. And that advice is from the co-founder of Chawala, Suhail. Yeah. And I think that's one thing that's really stuck with me. Since he told me that, it's always been in my head, is don't always take advice from so many people. And I think that's what he learned from as well when they first started Chawala, was they were taking so many advices from so many other people, hence why at the start the business wasn't growing. Until they only focused about 4 or 5 people, took advice from them, and now they're Chawala, where they are now. So that's always stuck to me. Don't take advice from too many people. Not really that I thought about it, and I never actually thought about. I always thought, take advice from everyone. Everyone's got a different mindset. Everyone's got a different views of everything. But then I thought about it, like, some people, it's just, if you have all that advice in your head, you won't really go that far.
Definitely. I think, like I said earlier, I think you know yourself the best. Yeah. And you know what's best for yourself. Like, even to the point where, this is getting a little bit off topic here, but even I personally feel like you should always maintain the respect of your parents. You should always listen to what they say. But I also believe you shouldn't always listen to what they say. And what I mean by that is, like, sometimes it might be disagreements or tough conversations you need to have in life, where you need to say, look, Mom, Dad, this is what I truly want. And I know it sounds corny, like some Disney movie or something, yeah? Because like, every Disney movie growing up was that plot, yeah? Oh, Dad, I don't want to be a basketballer or something like that. Like, you know, yeah?
Like a thing,
He becomes a pop star or something. But point is, like, as corny as it sounds, it's true though. And I mean that more like even in the most smallest things. Like sometimes people in life might not see eye to eye with what you truly want for yourself. But it's also like something else I had, which is another kind of advice you could say. Where someone said that, oh, if you walk into a room full of millionaires or billionaires, every single millionaire, billionaire will have a different answer to how they became rich. And if you just took one, like if you take every single one, like it's impossible to, you know, truly understand every single one. So pick what is good for you. Of course, like 3-4 advices, and stick with that and ride it out. You can't make every single one happy in that room.
I think, you know, that the viral video that's been going out a lot is, what do you do for a job? And it's a guy that's singing like a Lambo or Bugatti or whatever it is. Like, oh,
what do you do for a living?
Yeah, what do you do for a living?
What's that guy's name? He just walks around, yeah? I don't know, probably Daniel or something.
Yeah, it might be there, what do you do for a living? Yeah, but a lot of them could be fake, yeah? I know people are probably just being for fake, like just recording just for the views and the likes. But if you look at like the real ones, is everyone's got a different story of how they made the money to have this car, their life they're living.
Definitely, that's interesting. But yeah, I think that's our talk on success. I don't think it's even wrapped up. I think everything's mixed up because
I think
me and Amr actually sat down and we were like, what topic should we talk about in our first podcast? And we were like, oh, let's talk about success, inspiration, and kind of 9 to 5. We put all of them together. We started talking about success, and then it kind of like spaghetti, everything kind of mixed up together.
Yeah.
But yeah, now down to inspirations. I think a good question I'll ask you, Amr, is you can take a little bit of time in thinking. Yeah, I'll actually let you think right now. But who would you say is the inspiration to you? It could be a handful of people. Yeah, over to that.
To me, a person or just
Anything.
Anything.
It could be anything.
You know,
anything that inspires you.
I did the first like some time on 1-2 people. How long that take?
I think to give him some time. I think one thing I think both of us can agree on. I think one of the main inspirations for anyone or for most people should be the parents.
Yeah,
100%. I think that's the main one. I think the only reason.
Let's take parents aside, because that's gonna be obviously anyone. Yeah.
That's without mention. Like your parents are
100%.
your biggest inspiration. Yeah.
And obviously, let's take up like spiritually, because everyone knows another inspiration is really for moms or fellow.
Of course, yeah.
So, my inspiration is there's a few people that
It could be some people that you've met in your life right now, or people of the past that you just had stories of.
you know what.
I'd say, you know what? I'll make it specific, yeah? Who's someone that inspires you right now? Because, like you said before, if we mention, everyone pretty much here will mention Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the biggest inspiration. And that's, of course, the one only true answer. But I'm going to mention someone in your life right now that's inspired you to get you to where you are. And the reason why I'm asking this is because I feel like they've had an input in your life, and the sense scenarios that you can tell me firsthand that you've had that have inspired you.
There's so many people that have made my life a big difference in my life, involved in my life, and has actually had me to where I am right now.
I think one answer is Imam Yags.
I can't lie. He's actually one of my inspiration of where he is right now. Obviously, I've known Yags for mainly my whole life, almost my whole life. Like, I met from age of 12 and now I'm 21. But there's a few people. I would say Mullah Samir from One Nation is very big inspiration to me. He's always given me advice, and I've learned a lot, and he has helped me where I am right now.
Just some context. Mullah Samir is one of the main people, the main guys at One Nation. And he's mentored Amr for quite a long time. Since Amr's ever been at One Nation, he's always given advice, you know.
Yeah.
He's always had a personal relationship. And even with me,
That's
I've
even like financial advice, or it can be just personal advice. It can be anything. Like, he's always the person I always go to.
Interesting.
And how he is, how people respect him, everyone knows him. Majority of people in Leicester know him. But the way how he is as a person, the respect he has, the respect people give him is something that's very inspirational, and I want to be similar to him. Second one is actually, you know him as well, is Tariq. Also, he's one of the founders of GBS. And that's only the reason why I'm saying this is because Gaudi has helped me also as a good brother. He's the one that offered me my first job in life. He put me down where I was in a low. I finished school with no GCSEs. I was down and low. I was in depression, so like almost in depression, where it was affecting my mental health. But obviously, Thai gave me the opportunity. I'll give my first job, got me into doing youth work, doing my level 2, and I'm always grateful. Like, I've actually messaged him a few months ago saying that how grateful I am because he has actually helped me to where I am now. Helped me gain the confidence doing editing, and he's always got. If you want something, I'm there. I'm always there for him because he's done a lot for me.
A big shout out to Gotti, by the way, or GBS.
I think it's not just for me. I think it's with a lot of youngsters.
Definitely. I was just about to mention that. I was just about to say that one thing I love about Gotti, because he definitely deserves the credit, is that whatever events you have going on, whether it's LMA, whether it's another organization, he is there. And you can tell he's there from a place in his heart. Like, he's not there to gloat or to walk around and own the place. You can tell he's there because he genuinely wants to help. And he's just one of those people you can rely on.
Yeah.
You know there's an event, you know he'll be there, and you know he'll bring the energy as well.
100%.
Like, I'll give a good example, yeah. We had a One Nation dinner once, right? Like with the volunteers and stuff, and it was quite a big one. It was in a hall and everything. And I remember, like, all the speakers are going up, and like, you know what I mean? They're just going up, they're giving the speeches, just about X, Y, Z. And then he just went up, yeah. And then he was so natural. He went up with like his notepad, and he's like, guys, I brought this notepad up to make it seem like, I know what I'm doing, but I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing. And he was just so original, bro. And I remember at that moment, I was just like, I just love this guy, man. He's so original with it. Like, no layers or anything. It just is how he is. Straight. Yeah.
You know, he actually reminds me of Kevin Hart, the Bengali.
Yeah, but the Bengali Kevin Hart. The Bengali Kevin Hart. Yeah.
He's got like, he's not a comedian, but he's just always funny. Like, somebody can't even take him serious. The stuff he says somehow.
To give some context, he runs GBS, which I'm going to actually elaborate a bit on because I don't know as much.
GBS kind of like, they have GBS. So they do accounting, and then they also do accident claims as well. So and they also do give help and advice in writing letters or writing forms or filling out forms. So they're literally pretty much always there. So they're very similar to LMA is they're helping people.
Yep. So Tariq GBS is quite well known in the Leicester community.
Especially the Bengali community.
Yeah, he's known everywhere. So I'm sure guys that listen right now definitely know of him. If not, follow up GBS on Instagram. You need to know who this guy is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an interesting inspiration.
Editor just put his initials in his Insta and all the fun stuff on.
But yeah, would you say you've wrapped up your inspirations that you've had in your life mainly? I'm sure there's a lot, but
there's a lot of people, but them two have affected me in my life, like to put me where I am right now. So what about you, Abdullah?
So mine, of course, my family does come first, but we put that aside. So putting aside my siblings and my parents, I'd say, I think, of course, Imam Yags, who's in front of us right now, I'd say he deserves a lot of credit.
He's just sitting behind us,
the reason being is because anyone who knows LMA has been here before, or even with One Nation, you'll know that Yags is the guy that's there behind the scenes, and he genuinely wants to help out.
Everyone really sees him.
Not everyone really sees him. He blends in, like, he doesn't like the spotlight. So I'm giving him a bit of the spotlight.
Yeah. He's probably hating it. He hates the spotlight.
You know what it is?
I think he never gets credit for what he does.
You know what it is? I'm gonna wrap it up here only because I know he doesn't like the spotlight that much. So I'm gonna cut off here. So keep it simply Imam Yags. And then after that, I'd put someone who's the inspiration to both of us, me and Yags. And he knows who I'm going to be talking about. And that's Coach Ibrahim. Wherever he is in the world right now, I hope you're listening to this, because I do not know where he is. I promise you. No, it's not even travels. He just leaves. He just moves. He's like a pigeon, bro. You know the funny thing is, he had this persona because he loved Khabib and stuff, like eagle in it. His WhatsApp profile pictures are eagle and stuff. He's literally an eagle. I don't know if eagles migrate, but this guy just migrates. He just like, but yeah, wherever he is in the world right now,
I'm gonna go to a different country. I'm bored.
Literally, I promise you, I'm not making this up. Some guy from LMA, whoever it is, will send me a number of his every 6 months. Oh, this is Coach Ibrahim's new number, because he used to be my coach. He mentored me a lot in MMA. And this is his new number. And every time I check the code for the number, it's a different country. And I'm just like, bro, this guy just moving past different numbers all the time. But the reason why he's a big inspiration is because we always talk about how amazing Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is. But the beautiful thing about him is that he was such an embodiment of the Sunnah of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which is why he was such a big inspiration. Because one thing is hearing the stories and of course, having that love for Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, but another thing is then seeing someone who lives like so closely to his life and is also such a humble, low-key guy. Because you will have, like, for example, your stars and your imams and masjids or whatever it is, and they're known. But with him, he's not like that. He's the most like low-key guy ever. He wears his joggers, he walks around the street. He drives a simple car, lives a simple life. But the biggest reason he's a big inspiration of mine is because one thing about him was he always changed the perspective of life for me, which is what inspires me the most, because I'd never want to be around people personally that always show me one perspective or two perspectives of life, and that's it. He was always very fresh. Like, he'd come in and he'd start talking about this. Next minute we're talking about politics. Next minute we're talking about the music industry from the past or something like that. Next minute we're talking about certain, I don't know, eating practices and diets and nutrition, and he's talking about carbs and the glycemic index of flipping bread. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, this guy was the most varied guy I ever met. He knew everything about everything. It didn't make sense. Like, almost to the point that I just sometimes would tell him, how do you know this stuff? Like, it doesn't make sense.
He's like you. He doesn't know that to waffle a lot.
No, but the difference is I'm a waffler. He's not. He genuinely knew what he's speaking about. Like, he researches. But the point, another reason that he was a big inspiration is that not only perspective, but he was so varied with his success in life. And bringing it back to our topic of success, like, he was so successful in the way where, to me, well, I deem it successful, where in MMA he's done so well for himself. He's competed so much. He's taught so many people. You know, he's brought such a vibe and community element to what LMA was previously. The gym was previously, and he's done so much in that way, but not just in that way, like in knowledge as well. So Islamic knowledge, knew so much, crazy, and then non-Islamic knowledge, knew so much. Experiences in life, had so much. Countries he's been to in life, had so much. Like, the point is, like, you know, like I said before, that quote where you can have everything in life, but not all at once.
Yeah.
He's done that. One minute he was a pro basketballer, a semi-pro or something like that. Next minute, I don't know, a wrestling,
Now he's MMA.
I don't know, phenomenon.
UFC
Next minute, whatever.
Yeah.
But my point was that, like, with him, he just did everything, and he did it so well. So sometimes I'll go to sleep thinking, damn, I wonder what he's hustling on right now, because he's just a grafter, you know?
Yeah.
And he was the most humble, sweetest guy I'd ever met. That's what I loved about him so much. Like, whether it's a youngster or older guy, always so happy to see them. And like I said before, in my life, he's probably one of the most perfect embodiments I've seen of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which that's why he inspired me so much. But yeah, that's an interesting topic about inspirations. Now let's spice it up a bit, yeah?
Okay,
Let's say inspirations from the past. Okay, besides Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, only because I feel like we could talk about so much, but we do hear a lot about Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam all the time, and that goes without mention.
100%. Hi.
It's a tough question because the thing about the past one is that you have to be inspired by what they've done with their life and the accomplishments that you've heard of, not with the experiences you've had with them. So when I mentioned experiences we've had directly with people, it's
Now
a bit easier.
Like,
yeah. Now it's something you've heard of someone or someone great in the past, and you feel inspired by the story or the legacy. It's a hard question. It's a hard question. Very hard.
I'm just thinking deep in my brain.
The thing is, for me, all my answers would be the Sahaba or the Prophets. But then I want to kind of not stay away from that, but bring another perspective.
Yeah.
You know what? This is a good question. Yeah. Whilst we're thinking right now, to the guys listening, what is in your head right now? And when we post on Instagram, please comment who your inspiration is, wherever it is, whether it's in the past or someone right now, like, tag them.
Oh man, Abdullah, man, you done me.
Nah, I'm sorry, man. I have to do that like this.
I would. Do you know what? I don't.
Should we just end the podcast?
For 2 years, died 2 years later.
2 years
still
later.
thinking. You know what? Did you start? It's coming to my mind.
I think one that's in modern times is I think because you always hear stories about Islamic like victors in the past who fought wars and things like that.
Yeah.
I think one right now I'd say is probably Salahuddin al-Ayyubi. He was Kurdish actually. He wasn't Palestinian. I was about to say he's Palestinian. The only reason why is because if you think about his history, it was recent. Like, it wasn't too far behind, and he accomplished a lot in his lifetime. Like, you know, he fought so many battles, and he did very well in the Crusades. I think he's one inspiration. But if you were to bring it nearer, I don't know what it'd be. Like I said, it's a tough question.
Very tough question.
It's
But
tough.
I'm still thinking. I don't even listen to what you're saying half the time.
I think, of course, Muhammad Ali is a big one because but that's a bit biased because I'm a martial arts fan. And Muhammad Ali, just like, the thing I liked about him the most is he wasn't just a fighter in the ring, he was a fighter outside the ring in life. Yeah. Like, the biggest thing that stood out to me is when he was told to fight the Vietnam War and he said no. He's like, no, I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting. I don't care. Like, I'm not. Split me on my belts. I do not care. Like, I stand by my morals. I think Muhammad Ali is probably one of my biggest. We got Khabib, but he's alive right now. But I'm more martial arts.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not. So, I don't really know. You know, it's very difficult because I don't know.
Interesting. I think, you know what? I think this is a question we're going to have to revisit next week, yeah? And we're really going to have to
I'll have to get the answer ready on my phone.
We're going to have to start taking notes because I'm stuck as well. Like, there's a few I've mentioned, but it's weird because I think in general, it's hard to be touched by things that have happened in the past because it's just stories and you're so used to hearing stories about people. So it's a very tough question, and we will answer it next week. So you'll have to wait till the next episode.
Yeah, I won this game in my head, but we'll wait the next episode.
Yeah, I'm stuck as well.
Yeah, I'm going in my head right now.
Funny? I dug a hole for myself. I told Amber, yeah, what's it? And I just stood there and I was like, nah,
I've actually got one in my head.
Ooh.
Malcolm.
Ooh, interesting. Elaborate.
Malcolm. It is what he's done, what he has done for his views and what he's done for other people. It's inspiration.
You just made me think of one right now.
Yeah. You know how we're helping each other out now.
Okay. Now you've actually been thinking, yeah? You know what mine's is weirdly? Who's heard of Nikola Tesla?
Yeah, I've heard of, yeah.
Nikola Tesla's the big one. The reason why is because, what did I watch about him again? So, you know Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Doctor Who had an episode. Yeah, and I used to love Doctor Who, the old series. Personally, I feel like it's gone down the drain now.
Yeah,
it's absolutely terrible.
Very.
No shout out to BBC, but it's unbelievably bad now. I tried to watch the episode, it was terrible. But anyways, they had one episode about Nikola Tesla, and I remember watching it. And I remember thinking, this is insane. The reason being is because, and I even looked into the history of this. Nikola Tesla was, I'm not sure what he was a founder of exactly. It's something to do with electricity, I think. I'm not sure what it is exactly. But the reason why his story stands out to me so much, not because of what he achieved, is because he never got the credit or fame for it at all. He died. I think he even died alone in his room.
He was actually, yeah, you're right.
Something like that.
He actually helped created electricity or something like that. I remember it because it was from an episode of Big Bang Theory. If you know what Big Bang Theory, it's like one of the best series ever on Netflix. I've watched it hundreds of times.
I've only seen clips of the smart guy in there. He's like a robot. Sheldon, that's it.
Yeah. Sheldon Cooper.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's why I've heard of it.
Yeah. Just very briefly, I just put it on ChatGPT quickly. The Nikola Tesla is known for quite a few things. It's alternating current, AC, which is using electricity nowadays.
Yeah.
Tesla coil, which is a transformer. Wireless energy transmission, which I don't know what that is. Radio, electric motors, and X-rays, and other inventions as well. But yeah, I think that what amazes me about his story and inspires me a little bit is the fact that he truly was in the pursuit of science and innovation, and he didn't need people to say to him, "Oh, well done! Wow, what you've done is amazing." But he didn't even live to see it. It's like that thing about delayed gratification, where maybe, like we said before, but this ties into success now, where maybe you live a life where no one your whole life or anyone acknowledge you until you passed away, and then people are like, "Wow,
he's made a difference."
Something." Like Vincent Van Gogh is a good example.
Yeah.
His art was only appreciated once he passed away, much after. Then it was seen as marvelous, something amazing. But when he was alive, he lived, to put it blunt, he lived a horrid life. And I'm not saying Vince Van Gogh is an inspiration, but in that way where people had that passion to truly do what they wanted to do. And I feel like in our day and age, we've kind of lost that element due to social media and people's expectations and how huddled we are in big cities and how we are in communities. So I think that's one that I definitely point out there. Because you said Malcolm X, it jogged my memory a bit. But Malcolm X is also a big inspiration as well. I don't think I need to mention.
I think it's a big inspiration not to myself, but I think to a lot of other people around the world.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that inspires you at Malcolm X is his logic and thinking.
Yeah.
Daily life.
Listen, you're not married. Any single ladies out there? Get married to Abdullah.
Yo,
someone.
DM ring talk, bro, with your profile, your CV, bro, and all the details. But yeah, with Malcolm X, I think I read something about him, how he was part of Nation of Islam, and the reason why he left it and converted to Sunni Islam is because he went for Hajj, if I'm correct. And when he went for Hajj, or something like that, or I think Islam in general, why he embraced Islam, I'm not sure, one of the two. But he went for Hajj and he said, he looked around and he saw white people, black people, everything mixed together and living in such peace and harmony. He said, this must be a true religion. Where else could unite people like this? Like that kind of thinking is quite a superior form of thinking and logic, which she just clung on straight away. So Malcolm X, huge inspiration. So yeah, guys, please comment your inspirations now. We need to know who they are. Yeah. And you know what? Next week's episode, who knows? We could go through your comments and actually start talking about some of your inspirations. Let's see what that's done in your life. As we're on the topic of success and inspiration,
I think it's been a very successful.
On a side note, Pops, the man behind the scenes, how much time has gone past? Because I don't even know.
Yes, because After it's not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah.
not
I
bad.
thought it'd be an hour. To be honest.
Let's minus 10 minutes of us messing around a bit.
Oh, don't start,
Yeah,
man.
so say
Don't start. Don't start.
it's
Yeah.
about
Yeah. Oh, another thing, guys. Yeah, they're also trying to think of an intro for this podcast, which is struggling right now. And we've got a few ideas.
if there's anyone that's good at editing and knows that good like intro videos and that,
Forget
hit us
anything,
up as
any
well.
inspiration,
Any inspiration.
anything you think that
Yeah.
just hits, or from what you've heard of this one podcast with us, you think would suit this podcast other than the intro,
Yeah.
or even anything you heard throughout the podcast, point it out, let us know. I'm sure we'll take it on board.
100%. Actually, just before we end the episode, Nurse Successful is Coach Anas Ahmad. So
definitely.
I thought he's bring him up a bit. Obviously, he's one of the coaches at LMA Academy, but he's also a champion, two-time champion in
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to help Amr out with this.
Something that I'm very good
ISKA and Battle Arena.
Yeah.
So just to give a bit of background, Coach Anas
I'll have
Hamrad,
to find it now.
Coach Anas Hamrad. He is a youngster actually. He's not much older than us.
Yeah,
He
he's
comes to
from
LMA. He
Morocco.
teaches here. He's a big hustler, a big grafter when it comes to MMA.
Yeah.
And all I'm gonna say is, I promise you, this guy is like, I don't know what to call it. King Kong Godzilla when he hits the bag, bro. When he hits the heavy bag with the leg kick,
Yeah.
yeah, you've seen it, bro. This place
No, I've
shakes,
not
bro.
seen it. I felt it.
shakes. It's like, and it's like,
Yeah.
bro, you just like, everyone's looking at him, bro. Who is this guy? And he is not just only good in the bags. He's good in the ring as well.
Good in the ring.
And he deserves a lot of
Got
credit
very
because
powerful.
he's really inspiring the youth here, and he's really playing a part in helping out the community. So he has got his fight coming up soon, if I'm correct.
Yes, on the June 29th, he's fighting someone named Joey. I can't hear the last name, but someone called Joey. But
You know, forget about that guy. He's gonna
Yeah.
get knocked out.
But anyway, yeah. But anyway, Coach Ernest, 100% like he's got the power and he's successful
Yeah.
and pull up for our
But like I said, I think he's still chasing
yeah.
that version of success for him. He's still in here hitting the bags every
Yeah.
day, you know, getting closer and closer to where he wants to be.
Don't
But
worry, he's almost there and I felt his punches. I think the NFL got a video of him punching me.
insert clip.
Yeah, insert clip. But I felt his punch and I can't lie. I think if I wasn't wearing those belts, I think I would have been dead on the floor. So watch that video. It's funny.
Which you would have paid his janaza in this gym. Yeah, but like I said, so give some support. If you need tickets, please DM him and on his Instagram.
he's
Give a shout
really-
out to his Instagram. I think
I'll
he
tell you
deserves
now it is Anas Hamrad. That's it really. Anas Hamrad MMA.
that.
So
I mean, that's it.
it does add his, his Instagram username there.
Yeah, but anyways, please inquire him for tickets. Go support him.
Yeah.
He's local to Leicester. So like I mentioned before, this whole podcast is about bringing to light what Leicester has and what Leicester has produced. And with Coach Anas Hamrad, he
Okay, so just a bit of a thing. Actually, his ticket sold out. His show is sold out. I just
Okay,
just-
either way,
now,
support with
he sold
PPVs,
it. But just
whatever.
message him saying amazing work, you're doing amazing, keep it going, and let's hope he brings home another belt.
Definitely, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I can already imagine it on the table.
When he wins, we're gonna get him onto the studio, onto the podcast. We're gonna let him talk about it and bring his belt as well.
Definitely.
And let's see if the belt can fit on the table.
But anyways, guys, I think that's a wrap of
Yeah.
our session.
Yeah.
But yeah, Amr, it's been a good one. So I'm Abdullah, just to recap, and we've got Amr over here.
Yes.
And this is Ring Talk Podcast, and hopefully we'll be producing episodes every month, if not more, inshallah.
Hopefully, inshallah.
And
But don't forget to follow us on all social media. It's got always forget it. So on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, follow us up. Keep sharing, and let's make not this podcast, but everyone's podcast. Let's make it successful, and let's show support to everyone.
yeah, definitely. That's it. But anyway, that's a wrap. Until we see you next time.
Yeah.
It's Abdullah and Amr.
Stay.
This is Ring Talk.